Originally, I was intending to cover the show after the season ends, but based on what happened in this episode, I think what I'm about to say for this episode will still apply, even after the season ends. So we can think of this episode as my definitive take on this show, assuming that nothing significant will happen down the line. So, let's talk a bit about the professor. Lads, you have to admit, his advice to June this episode, while his wording of it is probably among the worst that we can think of, it was an advice that at least tried to break the status quo that is June's indecision to the whole situation regarding June and the twins. Like, yeah, if thinking doesn't get you anywhere at this point, then perhaps it's about time to start relying on your feelings instead. If the professor worded it like how I just said it, there's probably less pushback over his advice. But in the end, the point still stands, and I will always appreciate a character who tries to develop the story for the sake of everyone involved, which also includes us, the audience. And the real MVP for this episode, obviously, it's Naori. There is no competition in this anime. We're essentially watching Naori's life in animation here. Like, in my previous video, I was actually worried that the author might write Naori after episode 3 as someone who will do something stupid in order to level her with Rumi and Jun's less than appealing decision-making skills, but no. The author actually made Naori stand to first place in this love triangle podium by giving her the toughest spine possible. Like, granted, the way she talked to June and Rumi was less than ideal, but can you reasonably expect June or Rumi to do what Naori did in this episode, which is to make everything crystal clear? Enough with the bullshit. Let's settle this love triangle fair and square, no excuses, just straight up ball. Nah, buddy, in no timeline can we hope that the other two will do what Naori did. And really, lads, I was already partial to Naori even with just the first 3 episodes alone, but this episode cemented her as the best girl of the series. Snarky, rude, bit of a manipulative flair to her. I definitely agree, but do consider that she is this way because she's sick of the dumb fuckery that Rumi and June have been doing since day one. So I find it difficult to view her as the only mean character here. And if I remember it correctly, in some discussion threads, such as my anime list and Reddit, there's this criticism of Naori that she's annoying because of the constant nerd references. Here's my answer to that. We've only seen Naori do that when she's with someone she's comfortable with. If you disagree with her behavior, you might as well say you disagree with the standard nerd behavior, because from my point of view, nerds only really get to nerd out when they're with people they like. And here's the thing, I'm not particularly cultured in her type of nerdiness. I haven't seen Star Trek, for example, but a simple thought experiment for everyone. Replace her hobbies with your hobbies, and imagine her nerding it out using references from your hobbies. I highly doubt you'll dislike her as much as you originally did, assuming if you're one of those critics. And one more thing before I end this video, Naori's friend, she literally straight up called her a losing heroine. Like, really, in this season. I find it difficult that this particular banter is simply a coincidence, considering that Losing Heroines is also airing this season. But hey, benefit of the doubt. And really guys, even if Naori loses to Rumi by the end of this anime, I don't mind that actually. Even better, if Naori and Professor ended up as a couple by the end of it, that might actually be the best ending for Naori and Professor. Just saying. So yeah, that's about it for me. Until next time then, lads.